Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Are you creative? Do you want to be creative? If you said yes, then you've came to the right place. I'll let you know how to be more creative. And if you said no, what do you mean you don't want to be more creative? Like, I don't understand. Why would you not want that? Creativity is the door to a much more fascinating world. Have you ever seen a kid playing with toys? For an adult, an action figure, that's just an inanimate piece of plastic, motionless, lifeless, and boring. But for a kid, that's a different story. These action figures, they're flying, they're casting spells, and they're interacting with each other in an intricate plot. It's much more fun. Why would you not want a bit of that in your life too? But anyways, I don't get it, and I'll tell you how to be more creative in any case. But before, I'll start with a story. I was talking to a friend that goes to art school, and she was ranting about a group member who didn't share her references after making the design of a monster for a show. And so a reference is basically, in this case of a monster, are similar monsters that exist in other shows that she uses to base her own design upon. And she was ranting that she didn't share references, and I was bewildered, contemplating the hypothesis. Why do you need references? Can't you have an original thought, an idea without references? According to the art industry, no, you cannot, but I was not convinced. We need to think a bit more about it. And to think more, we need to take a step back and first ask ourselves, what is a thought? A thought, in my opinion, is just a translation of pieces of information that are physically stored in your brain, be it on neurons, on the connections between them, etc., to the language of our senses, images, sounds, feelings, things we can understand. So a thought must be physically stored in your brain. And to have a completely original thought, something that was not based on anything, if it has to spontaneously show in your brain when you think about it, which for complex ideas seems impossible. So the art industry is right, it's impossible. But this is a truly original thought but this is a very pedantic definition of original thought. In practice, an original thought or an original idea is just a combination of different ideas. You take two ideas, you blend them together, and the outcome is a new idea that resembles both of them, but is different enough to be considered authentic. So the art industry is right. You need references. And the key to creativity is basically plagiarism. It's short of it. But not too much from the same source. Otherwise, this is actual plagiarism, which is a crime. You should not do it, not commit crimes. But you take bits and pieces from multiple bodies of work to compose your own. And then you're not plagiarizing. Let's say you are just borrowing from different pieces of work. And you have an original idea. When Isaac Newton said, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. What he meant is just use the work of others to make your own. Do not reinvent the wheel. This is the key for creativity. It's disciplined borrowing from other pieces of work. This is the key, but as a final note, you don't really need to use only the work of others. You can also mix the work of others with your personal experiences to make something, to create something, the result of creativity. So do you want to be more creative? Have more experiences. Go hiking to a place you've never been before, or travel, or learn a different language, or research about random topics on the internet. The internet has an abundance of absolutely arbitrary topics covered in extreme detail. which is amazing and it's easy to find. Or you could also give speeches about topics you're not familiar with, or talk to people that are different from you. Basically, broaden your world. Broaden your world and you become more creative. I, for one, I like to indulge a bit too much with the internet and also to make random speeches. But what about you, fellow Toastmasters? What are you going to do to be more creative? That's some food for thought, Mr. Toastmasters.